Good morning, everybody. I'm calling to order the Development Committee meeting for May 21st. In Sam's absence, I'll be chairing the meeting today, so thank you so much, everybody. Could I have a roll call, please?
Member Krajewski.
Here.
Member Chaplin.
Here.
Member Guston. Member Ozog.
Here.
Member Rutledge.
Here. No remarks. We'll get right to the, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, can I just make a comment that Member Guston was on Zoom?
That's
JPS,
right. Thank
So
you.
maybe she's on Zoom now, I don't
She's
know.
trying to connect all.
She's
Oh,
trying to
she's
connect.
trying to connect.
Trying to connect.
Sorry, I
She
just
hasn't-
wouldn't.
We have to wait for her to be connected before we can,
Is she asking to participate? Yeah,
I'm
so,
gonna guess she did with finance.
yeah, so then we need to do the. There you go.
I just thought to make you aware of that. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
She's not.
She is on right now.
Yeah, she is part of the committee.
Yeah, so
Joe, you want to let me know when
She
she,
is online.
Okay,
She
good.
doesn't have a
All righty.
computer shared.
so let's start, yep. A quorum of the members is physically present, but I will entertain a motion permit, member Guston not physically present due to personal illness, disability, employment purposes, or the business of the board, family or other emergency, or unexpected childcare obligations to participate by video or teleconference. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Welcome, member Guston. Hope you're somewhere alive and well, I guess.
Good
Um,
morning.
Great. Do we have any public comment this morning?
No.
No public comment? Great. Next, I'll ask for a second on 24-1531, the minutes from May 7th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, FIR 0090-24, a resolution authorizing the addition of one full-time headcount to the staff of the Building and Zoning Department for the position of Zoning Administration Coordinator.
So moved.
Second. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Discussion, sorry. Any discussion on this? Jim, do you want any comment?
Can answer any questions
Yep.
you got if you got
Okay.
some.
Please.
No questions? Great. All in favor?
Aye.
That motion carries. Next, DCO 33-24, an ordinance to amend chapter 3, the alcoholic liquor of the DuPage County Code.
So moved.
Second.
Questions and comments? Jason?
Would you like me to say a few things?
Yes, please.
Just to get the conversation. About a month ago, I believe I was here before you all, just letting you know, we were going to start working on some changes to make sure our liquor code became more conform with the state statute changes, as well as again, back in 2019, when we revoked the ban on video gaming terminals, nothing was put into effect. Both chapter 3 and chapter 4 essentially are now putting in some of that regulation. I do want to clarify that chapter 3 and 4 is separate from the zoning part. Paul, as we said a month ago, is working on that from the other end. This is strictly just the liquor and the video gaming terminal itself. But I'll stick with liquor on this part, and we'll go through there. Just some things, if you see, there's a lot of red and blue. Sorry, there's a lot of changes. Definitions changed just to more conformly meet what we're at. Video gaming terminals was defined. But the key thing that changed within the liquor license is the actual types of classes. So Class A packaged liquor, which is what you think is your convenience store, anything like that, we're adding one little aspect to it is you can have what's going to be now called a G2 license. It's an accessory license, and it allows you to have video gaming terminals. So what it does is it allows them to pour alcohol at that facility. In addition to having that license, though, that's where you still have to have the BASIS certification. You have to do everything that's required of any other liquor pouring establishment. Additionally, it requires that the two have to be parsed off from each other. So there has to be an actual delineation showing that's where that might be for the video gaming terminals as opposed to the general business of the store. That's what it's indicating there. Class B license is the taverns and restaurants. Again, that's the only change in there is just clarifying it's only for taverns and restaurants, not that convenience store aspect. Then we get into the Class G1 and the Class G2. Class G1 is for a standalone video gaming terminal that may not be serving food. So it's more of that tavern style where it's just alcohol being served there. In this current edition that I'm proposing, there's 15 licenses for that allowed, which kind of coincides with where we're at. And then the G2 is an additional video gaming terminal bar. That's that connection to an A for a convenience store. That is set at 25, which is also the limit of the Class A. So it makes it so if you have the Class A, you can get this G2 license. Then from there, it's just some cleanup. We got rid of the Class J license, which was for public universities. Previously, we used to issue the liquor license for the College of DuPage. We no longer do that. Glen Ellen has taken that responsibility back over. So I've cleaned it up, taken that out. There's no need to have it in there. And then I've moved everything else up so we don't have 2 vacancies in the middle of it. So just minimal changes in that regard. Licensure dollar amounts. The video gaming terminal cafe would be equivalent to what the bar and restaurant pricing is, 22.5. I'm sorry, 22.50. My apologies. And then the additional video gaming terminal cafe would be an initial fee of $200 because it's an additional fee, as we said, with the like Class D license right now. If you have a restaurant in the same building, you're doing a separate bar, you get that additional bar. So I'm just mirroring it. I'm making it so everything's mirrored, so we're not all over the place with that. That's the large stuff. The other stuff is more cleanup on the back end. We're looking to make it to where the applications can be done online. So I just had to put it on here, allowing it to where you can do online submittal, allowing a signature from a corporation to be authorized by electronic signature. We want to clarify that. Also just indicating that this would coincide with the new year coming up July 1. So we do these licenses. Now, one thing, we are in the renewal period. So what we've allowed in here or made it to where if you've applied for both a Class A and a Class B liquor license, the Class B was issued previously to some of these convenience stores, but didn't serve food or anything like that. We would do the administrative side and allow them to transfer that to that additional license. So just reclassifying it to make sure they're in compliance. So it would be no additional cost or penalty in that regard. Just so this way, this cleans up the issue I talked about a month ago of how we had these, and though technically legal, it's not the cleanest. So that's pretty much the summation of the liquor side of it. Is there any questions about the liquor side in particular or comments or?
Questions, anybody have? I do. Brian, go ahead.
Do the same amount of licenses now as do we have establishments out there?
For Class A, I believe that to be the case. Yes, it's full 25 on that.
So anybody wants to come in now for a Class A has to
We would
come,
have to come before us to
but
get
the
that.
other ones,
So the Class G1 would be the change, the video terminal cafe, which we don't have, that doesn't exist. So
don't
if it's
have
just
it.
that standalone,
so they can come in front of us for that.
correct. But I think we went with 15 because I remember looking at the businesses, there's 15 of those types of establishments, if I remember correctly, right in that ballpark.
So they will get that license then, those 15. So then again, if the 16th comes in, we have to.
Correct. Then you guys have to make the approval to amend it to allow 16.
Okay, and so nobody really can come in the future without our approval, because we're maxed out. right?
Yes, hypothetically, yeah. That's assuming all 15 occur, yes.
Got it.
And I know that was a concern when I was here a month ago and we,
Question, right?
yeah,
That's how-
yeah, we incorporated it as we could.
How a lot of municipalities do it, just so they can get a little extra review of what's coming in before they grant
Correct.
it or expand their license.
Remember you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Do you anticipate like a lot more money coming in as a result of these changes in classifications, or is it just a clarity?
So I think the liquor side is really gonna be net neutral. It'll be the video gaming terminal. That'll be a new revenue stream, because by state statute, we're allowed to collect $250 per terminal. We're not doing that right now. So I think that'll be the revenue add-on. I don't know or really anticipate a true revenue increase from the liquor. This is just, again, conforming it to meet. So it's allowing the practice that's already occurring to coincide with actual state statute.
Thank you.
I have a question for you, Jason. So, in all of the redactions and updating, amusement device went away. What other devices besides video gaming terminals would be considered an amusement device? And is there still an ordinance for that?
Yeah, so chapter 4, sorry, moving to the video gaming terminals then. Great question. Amusement devices, previously we have actually regulated, or at least it's been on the books, regulated like pool tables, arcade machines, in which you had to pay for a permit. It was like $10 for the entirety. And to be honest with you, the $10 for all of them to go check for staff time, it wasn't the appropriate thing to do. And I couldn't tell you when that went away, and Mr. Strand, I don't know if you have a specific when that, yeah, okay. So, regardless, that's what the amusement device, it was for those types of items, so the non-gambling type things. So to clean up the code again, and that's something that I've been trying to do as here, and I'll probably be talking to you guys about tobacco and not a terribly distant future once I look at it. If it's not something we're using, or there's no point that I thought this kind of follows video gaming terminals, it's somewhat within the same realm. We can change chapter 4. And then chapter 4, then for video gaming terminals, it's clearly delineated, as it says in state statute, the Illinois Video Gaming Terminal Act. So this mirrors it. And what it does, it allows us a process to where an individual can apply for a permit or a license of having video gaming terminals. In that permit, they'll indicate to us how many devices they have. If you're a liquor establishment, you're only allowed to have 6. That's where you're capped. If you're one of those other and the reason for these separation is video gaming terminals, there's 4 different types of licenses with video game at the state level. One is that core license, or the liquor license we talked about, which allows only 6. The other 2 are for large truck stops, different types of truck stops. And I apologize, I can't remember the specific ones about the amount of gas you sell a month. The other one is if it's a place where truckers may stop and it's a truck stop. Those are allowed to have 10 video gaming terminals. So I made it a little bit broader in chapter 4 because we'd like to encompass that in the event something like that happens. I'm pretty sure we do have one establishment that has that we have to look at a little bit more. But it allows that, as well as the social clubs is the 4th one. So they're only allowed to have 6 as well. So video game for, again, they'll apply, they'll say how many they have, they'll pay $250 per terminal. That cost is split by the owner of the establishment and then the operator of the video gaming terminals. So I know the companies that do video games, they call me every year saying, okay, so where do we cut the $250 per machine? I'm like, we don't have that on the books right now. However, anticipate it for next year. So the couple companies that we have in the county are aware this is coming. This is done throughout other, they're not objecting in that way. At least they didn't push back. They're the ones usually calling me saying, we're going to put the check. So, they've kind of gotten a break for the past couple of years. But this would do it, we'll actually be allowed to then do another inspection on the property, ensuring that the electrical or any additions that may occur to install these are properly done. The building inspectors will be out there for that. And then again, it's just a regulated use at that point. So there's an application fee to cover the expense.
So pool tables, things like that are falling off and there'll be no fees associated with that.
Correct.
Okay.
I mean, unless for some reason you'd like me to really look into that, I think back in the day when, and our liquor code doesn't allow gambling in liquor licensed establishments anyway. So if you have a billiards table in your facility, you can't do it anyway. So the duplicity doesn't seem necessary to me.
Thanks, Jason.
No problem.
Member Guston, you have a question?
Yes, thank you very much. Quick question. This is kind of new for me because Naperville didn't have gambling allowed in Naperville, and the variance for this. Can you explain what the benefit is going to be? Because, and if there is also some resources on the mental health aspect of addiction, because there is gambling addiction. What's our next step on this stuff when this is, or if this is approved?
So let me make sure I understand the question right. The mental health part with revenue, I would have to talk to the health department about, or another mental health professional. I apologize. That's not something I can speak to at this current moment, but I can look into that for you. But can you restate what your first question was? I'm sorry.
Sure. I guess my question is, what is the benefit going to be to the residents, to the county, with respect to these changes that you're recommending?
So what's already occurring is going on. However, we're missing out on the opportunity to collecting that $250 per terminal. So it's already occurring. This is just, again, placing into effect what's currently practiced. And then as well as, we're missing out on that opportunity to collect for the terminals within these establishments. So it's an additional revenue. And I couldn't give you an honest number yet because we don't track this currently. So I don't know how many terminals. I can make assumptions, but I don't know how many terminals there are.
160.
Is it 160 in total? Okay, so
Let's pull it up.
160 times 250 will get us whatever our number is. And I apologize, I can't do that in my head.
You want that?
If you have it, I apologize. I can do that real quick. Let me look, Member Augustine. You said it's 160.
40,000,
How much?
40,000.
$40,000.
27 establishments with 160 machines in DuPage.
Member Desart, you had a question?
I just wondered who's gonna police that? Like he just said, how many terminals are in DuPage? How do we know that? Maybe one establishment has,
They have to be
Double what they're
licensed,
supposed
they have to be licensed by the state.
Yeah.
And the max is 6. Almost
Okay.
everyone has 6. There's only 2 that have 4 and 1 that has 5.
that they're admitting to.
Well,
See what I'm saying?
so the state of Illinois regulates video gaming terminals at the higher level. We only get to collect a little revenue out of it.
Mhm.
What we'll do at that point is probably work with the Illinois Gaming Board. I know they've reached out to us for a couple of things. One other good benefit of this is you have to have a liquor license in 99% of the cases. So when our inspectors are out there, they'll say, hey, there's video gaming terminals. We don't see anything,
Gotcha.
which would be a violation then. So we can then police it in that fashion. And it'll be the same thing as our inspectors are allowed to go out there, the health department's allowed to go out there, as well as the sheriff's allowed to take action if needed to. So same as liquor. Very good question.
I believe the owners can't own the machines. They have to go through authorized people who have the machines.
Who
And
tell the
who
state?
brings the machines in, so they're not even and I think the breakout is 35% for the machine owners, 35% for the owner, 25% for the state, and then 5% for each municipality or county. We get 5%. I just
I'm
pulled the
impressed
state,
that you know all
Yeah,
that.
I just
Wow.
pulled the state report up. I just went online here, but we got in the last 2023 and the first quarter of 2024, which is a year and a quarter, we got 789,000 in tax revenue from the machines, just. There's 160 machines in
Wow.
DuPage and it lists each, you can just pull this up online, but it lists each of the establishments, which ones have them and how many machines they have and how much revenue was actually bet, how much income was made and how much the tax was between the state share and the municipal share.
Do all the establishments have the maximum number of allowable?
Almost all of them,
Machines?
there's one that has only 4
Okay.
and there's one that has only 5. And I think you said 10 because there's a speedway that's got 9.
There's truck stops that if they meet a certain
Yeah,
qualification.
so there's
all-
one speedway that's got 9, so they're short.
Which, and I believe that Speedway also has a Class A liquor license. I have to double check if that's the specific one,
Yeah,
which
so-
again, we'd be in there anyway.
Most of them have the max, there's 1 or 2 of them that don't.
Can you tell me what is that under? What are you looking at?
I just went to Illinois Department of Revenue, video gaming tax, and you can put the municipality in and, or the county, whatever, and you can run it for whatever period you want, whether it's quarterly or for a year. And they'll tell you each establishment, how much was bet, how much income was made, and how the tax was split between the state and the municipality. And there's pretty
Brian?
much
Who gets the other 30%? You said 35 goes to the,
35 to the owner, 35 to who owns the machines. The other 30 is taxed, and the state gets 25% of it, and the village or the county
Okay.
gets 5%. So the state in unincorporated got over that last year, 2023, the first quarter of 2024, the state got just in unincorporated DuPage 4.6 million, and we got 789,000. And that's just for DuPage. I mean, you go into some of these
a lot of money for
municipalities.
the owners, even though it's such a small percentage that they get, that's still a.
I mean, the overall amount of money that was gambled in that time was $178 million. And they paid out 162 million, so the net was 15 million. And then,
Any other questions or comments from anybody? Jason, you got anything to wrap up or?
I think that, I mean, that's pretty much what it is. Again, this is just codifying the practice we're already doing it, but making it a lot more conforming. And it was something that, over the years, this has been piecemealed together. It was finally time to just sit down and rewrite it and make it all one voice.
Okay, looking for a motion and a second, please.
Yeah.
Did we already?
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Last, DCO 34-24, an ordinance to amend chapter 4 of the DuPage County Code.
So moved.
Second? Anybody,
Anybody gonna second me?
any questions or comments? Jason, Paul, Jim, any?
Chapter 4 was the video gaming terminal part. We kind of merged the conversation. Chapter 3 was liquor, chapter 4 was video gaming terminal.
Got it. Okay, so have we essentially already approved that or we need a vote?
You need a vote.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Does anybody have any old business?
I do.
Go ahead, Member Guston.
A quick question, as far as liquor caps. I know we don't have a liquor commission, and we have a lot of liquor license out there that haven't been filled. From what I'm recalling, is there a way for us to evaluate, how many are needed, or if there should be, some independent, party committee group that would assist, with respect to liquor license?
So we do have a liquor commission or commissioner, which is the.
One person, yeah, which is great.
Yeah, so that's the form that's currently in here. I did not make any, again, I stuck with more the regulation aspect. I didn't look at that portion of it. But I mean, I would have to double check if other counties, I believe they do it this format. I know municipalities do that commission. But I don't know off the top of my head to where I would have to do some research for you.
And then how do we reevaluate how many, like, how do we decide how many license we should have available in the county?
Yeah, we get to set it, and right now there is a Class A license, which is packaged liquor, there's a cap at 25. Class B is restaurant and tavern, I believe that's 100, maybe, yeah, 100. Class C is hotel motel, I don't know that there's actually a cap on that one. And then under the current proposal, the G1 license would have 15, G2 would have 25. And there's a limit to how many of the temporary license you're allowed to get for one-day tastings. I think you only get 6 a year. So if that's just from memory, I'm 99% sure that's all the caps that are currently in existence.
So that's close to 200 licenses in varying ways, liquor license. I'm just wondering if that would be something people would want to kind of reevaluate and see if there needs to be a change in those numbers or not, up or down.
Good question. I mean, do we get, are the requests exceeding the allotment?
Not that I've seen at this time. No, I have not looked at it and been like, hey, sorry, we're out of licenses. That's not been my experience yet. If that does come, I'm sure I'll come before you all and say, we're having this. And as Member Krajewski's indicated, some municipalities do when that cap's hit, they expand it, based upon a conversation of the board. So yeah, that would be, if at that time the cap gets exceeded and we need that, we'll gladly bring it to you if you feel that's the appropriate, whatever you guys feel. I mean,
Well, I think with as many as we have, I don't ever think we're going to get to that point. But the more important point is keeping the cap conservative. So that way you can actually reevaluate if you need more or less versus having a whole bunch and waiting for people to fill it up, or businesses to fill it up. I know it's kind of a check and balance, when you do keep it very more conservative, so that you can talk about the need or if it needs to be. But if you just have, 100 extra license sitting out there and you're just waiting for somebody to step up, there's really no check and balance. It's like, oh, it's here. Okay, you get it. You win. So there's no real, I don't know, oversight, I guess.
I would think we're still doing our due diligence, no matter how many are available, so.
yeah, say the Class B, to your point, that's the 100 right now for restaurants and taverns. It's more clearly defined now under this current proposal, which would mean that it's going to be more what the intended purpose is an actual restaurant. It's not going to be a primary of that. So I think the Class B concern should be mitigated, but I understand with the Class A, the Class G1 and the Class G2, but you're right. That is a relatively low number, 25, 25 and 15. So that may coincide with what you're indicating.
Are you good, Member Guston?
Well, good as I can be.
All right, any other old
Thank
business?
you.
Any new business? Seeing none, without objection, we're adjourned.